Dear Leo, something is about to shift and the universe has chosen you to hear this. This isn't random. This is a divine appointment. A message is heading toward you in the next 72 hours, and it won't just surprise you, it will shake something loose inside you that you didn't realize was still holding on. Have you ever felt like life is whispering in between the chaos through dreams, signs, or even sudden emotions that seem to rise out of nowhere? Maybe you've been sensing something building. Something unresolved. Something unfinished. Maybe it's a person, or an opportunity that once slipped through your fingers and now it's circling back, asking for a response. Let me be clear, you're not watching this video by chance. No matter what time, what place, what state your heart is in, your soul has magnetized this moment to you. And that means something powerful is on its way. This message is more than words. It's a shift. An energetic invitation. Someone may reach out to you very soon, someone who once hesitated, disappeared, or held back. And while their name may surprise you, your soul has already been expecting them. Because deep down, part of you knew that the story wasn't finished. But this time, Leo, you're the one who holds the pen. You decide how this next chapter unfolds, not them, not the past, not your fears. That's the true power in all of this. So I invite you now to slow down, take a deep breath, and open yourself to what's coming. Let go of needing to know the how or who and instead, tune into what your energy is attracting at this very moment. The universe is always listening. Always answering. And today, it's answering you. If something inside you is stirring, if your heart feels like it's remembering something forgotten, comment below to confirm that this message is yours. Speak it into reality. Your confirmation is not just for this channel, it's your soul saying, I'm ready. And before we move on, let me take a moment to say thank you. Truly. Every like, every comment, every moment you spend with eternal mindfulness helps this space grow into a sanctuary of truth and healing. Your presence is felt. Your energy matters. And your support gives life to every word I'm able to share here. Leo, my loyal hearts, I promise you, what's coming next in this video is not just content. It's a portal. And if you stay with me, you'll discover something that could rewrite the energy of your week, your choices, and perhaps even your destiny. Now tell me honestly, what energy brought you here today? Let's find out together. Over the next 72 hours, the sky forms a sacred conversation with your energy, Leo. The sun, your ruling planet, stands tall in its fiery power, illuminating the parts of you that have remained in the shadows for too long. With Mercury closely aligned in this cosmic dance, your voice, both inner and outer, becomes a channel for clarity, healing, and revelation. This alignment creates a heightened field for communication, but not just any kind of communication. This is soul-level truth, the kind that doesn't come from thought, but from deep recognition. Right now, the energy of fire, the element you were born from, is stirring, not to burn, but to transmute. When fire moves through the heart with intention, it doesn't destroy. It clears. It softens. It turns rigid beliefs into ash and old wounds into warmth. That's exactly what this planetary movement is offering you, a chance to clear space, to melt resistance, and to ignite connection, especially with someone or something from your past that never truly closed. Venus, the planet of love and harmony, is adding her influence by gently reawakening emotional attachments you thought were long gone. But make no mistake, this isn't about slipping backward or reopening old pain. It's about finally seeing it for what it was and what it can become. Some connections come into your life as karma, some as teachers, and some as mirrors. This week, one of those connections may reach out again, not because you need them, but because you are ready to stand in your truth in their presence without attachment, without resistance. Think of this energy as a cycle. What you once sent out in thought, in emotion, in longing, is now returning to you, perhaps wearing a different face or arriving through a different form. This is not coincidence, it is the reflection of your own frequency. Just like water flows back to its source, the energy you have placed into the world is now flowing back toward you. The universe isn't testing you, it's responding to your signal. What felt incomplete may now come full circle, not to repeat, but to evolve. There is a quiet principle that teaches us: when we stop clinging to outcomes, life has room to bring us what's truly aligned. Just as the flame doesn't hold on to the wood, it transforms. You, too, are being asked to trust that the letting go is part of the receiving. The moment you release control, communication finds you. The moment you stop waiting, the right message arrives. The moment you soften, life responds in kind. This is the deeper gift of the next 72 hours, not just a message from someone else, but a message from within. You are no longer the person who needs to chase, to convince, or to prove. You are becoming someone who draws in truth simply by being aligned with it. So if someone does reach out, be it a past connection, a long-delayed opportunity, or a forgotten intention returning to form, see it as a reflection of the inner shift that's already begun. Now is the time to speak with clarity but not with force. To listen without expectation. To observe the energy you attract as a mirror of your evolution. These alignments are not here to save you, they are here to show you that you've already saved yourself. Let this be a gentle reminder: life is not a series of random events, but a sequence of invitations to return to your center. The next 72 hours are simply one more invitation. Will you answer it with presence? When the tower appears in a reading, it rarely whispers. It strikes. But not out of cruelty, out of necessity. This card doesn't simply signal destruction, it reveals where a false structure was standing for too long, upheld by fear, avoidance, or illusion. And this week, dear Leo, its message is clear: something is shaking, not to break you, but to free you. Sometimes, what looks like disruption is actually the most sacred form of realignment. The Tower, paired with the Knight of Swords, suggests that this shift will not unfold slowly, it will arrive fast, unexpected, and wrapped in words you never thought you'd hear again. A message. A name. A memory in motion. Maybe someone you haven't spoken to in months or years, someone who once carried your trust in their hands and let it fall. Maybe it's not even a person, but a place, an organization, or a goal you once gave your heart to but had to walk away from. That communication now returns, uninvited yet undeniable. The Knight of Swords brings the energy of urgency, the kind that doesn't ask for permission. It acts. It speaks. And in this case, it might stir more questions than answers. So the real question is not, will someone reach out? It's, are you ready to receive them or it with the same clarity you've worked so hard to build within yourself? The Five of Cups shows us that grief isn't only tied to endings. Sometimes, what hurts the most is what never got to finish properly. The apology never given. The closure never received. The promise never kept. But here's what the cards are offering you now, a choice. Not a resolution tied up in a perfect bow, but the power to say, this time, I'll respond differently or not at all. Think of the Page of Pentacles as a messenger of new energy disguised in old form. An offer may come, and while it may seem familiar, your perspective has shifted. You are not the same person who once longed for their words. The page is young energy, hopeful, but still learning. It asks you to consider, is this message part of your expansion, or is it simply echoing back to test your growth? The power is not in what they say. The power is in how you listen now. And this brings us to something deeper. There is a teaching that says, nothing outside you can complete what you haven't met within. That means the forgiveness you're hoping to receive you may already be holding. The closure you wish for it may begin when you no longer demand it. The need to hear their version of the past, it may lose meaning once you've spoken your own truth in silence. So I ask you gently, have you truly forgiven what happened, or have you just buried it beneath progress? Would hearing their apology help or reopen something you've carefully stitched back together? And most of all, what part of you is still aching to be seen, not by them, but by you? The gift of this unexpected message is not in the words themselves, but in the mirror it holds up. Whether you respond or not, whether you reopen the door or walk away for good, what matters most is that your action this time comes from awareness, not reaction. Let your wisdom lead. Let your peace answer before your pride does. And if you feel emotion rising as you hear this, don't push it away. Let it move. Like a wave clearing debris from the shore, it is making room for something new. This is your moment, not just to choose, but to choose from a place you've never stood in before: clarity, groundedness, and self-respect. And that, Leo, is more powerful than any message that could ever be sent to you. True healing begins not in grand gestures but in the quiet choices we make each day, choices that come from awareness rather than urgency, from softness instead of self-sacrifice. As you navigate the emotional waves stirred by this unexpected message, it becomes even more important to care for your inner world with deliberate tenderness. This is not just about responding to someone else's energy. It's about how you choose to show up for yourself, in every area of your life, with presence, wisdom, and self-respect. In matters of the heart, it's tempting to believe in promises wrapped in pretty words. But during times like these, what truly matters is consistency, not charm, not apologies, not chemistry. Watch the energy, not the language. Love is not meant to cost you your peace. You can open your heart without opening a door to chaos. And when someone reappears from the past, don't rush to define whether it's a sign or a test. Instead, ask yourself, does this feel nourishing? Does this connection allow me to remain whole? There's a quiet kind of love, one that does not chase, nor demand, but flows. To offer that kind of love to others, you must first offer it to yourself. And that begins with emotional hygiene, recognizing when old patterns are being reactivated, when your nervous system is overloaded, and when your silence is a sign of strength, not weakness. If you find yourself restless or anxious over the next few days, know that it's not just the message, it's the energy it brings up from within. Now is the time to pause, breathe, and recenter. Drink something warm in the morning to awaken gently. Take 10 minutes to sit with yourself in stillness before reaching for your phone. Your nervous system is listening, always. Treat it as sacred space. Physically, this energy can manifest as tension, particularly in the gut, the shoulders, the jaw. When we hold back words or feelings, the body stores them. This is not just emotional, it's somatic. A short evening walk, a calming tea with lemon balm or chamomile, or a few gentle stretches before bed can shift more than just the body. They release the stories we unconsciously rehearse all day. The key is consistency, not intensity. Small rituals, repeated with intention, become anchors of balance when the world feels shaky. Professionally, you may notice renewed interest in something you had almost given up on. A project that stalled. A role that slipped away. A person who once overlooked your potential. The planetary shifts now favor a kind of energetic, second look, not just from others, but from yourself. Are you seeing your gifts clearly? Are you undervaluing what you offer because someone else once did? Now is the time to revisit, not with regret, but with courage. Opportunities are finding their way back to you, but they require a version of you that no longer waits for permission to shine. Financially, a small breakthrough is possible: an overdue refund, a surprise bonus, an increase in clients or interest. This is not about sudden wealth, but about the slow reward of alignment. You've planted seeds in the past that are now bearing quiet fruit. To support this flow, stay mindful of how you spend your energy, not just your money. Budget your time and emotional labor as carefully as you would your bank account. And when the mind begins to race toward fear or doubt, return to the body. Breath is your reset. Stillness is your strategy. Above all, remember, caring for yourself is not selfish, it is the foundation of all clarity. As one timeless teaching reminds us, the one who knows how to calm their own mind holds the true key to freedom. The more gently you hold yourself, the less you need from others. The more completely you tend to your needs, the clearer your yes and your no become. That clarity is the compass through all uncertainty. It is the difference between reaction and response, between surviving the moment and transforming it. So as the days ahead unfold, let this be your quiet revolution, to choose yourself in love, in rest, in your next step forward. And trust that nothing you nurture from truth will ever be wasted. When the wheel of fortune appears alongside the sun, it's no longer just about chance, it's a revelation. These aren't merely tarot symbols, they are markers of movement, both external and internal. The wheel turns when life is ready to shift you into a higher phase, and the sun confirms that what is being revealed is not random, it is the truth you've been seeking, sometimes without knowing. Together, they form a cosmic mirror, showing you what happens when timing and clarity align. The number 10, embodied by the wheel, carries the vibration of completion and transformation. It whispers of cycles closing so new ones may begin. But not all closures are loud or dramatic. Some happen silently, within the chambers of the heart. You may feel something subtle shifting, a sudden clarity, a softened resistance, a quiet yes to what once scared you. These small inner movements are the beginning of powerful outer change. The wheel reminds us that life is not stagnant. Even when we feel stuck, something is always in motion behind the scenes. The sun, marked by the number 19, is the light of consciousness. It brings not just warmth and optimism, but a kind of radical visibility. When this card shows up, illusions fall away. What you see now is what's real. And in this moment, That reality may include a truth you've been afraid to face or a hope you buried so deeply you forgot it was still alive inside you. The sun doesn't ask you to fix or control. It simply invites you to see. And from that seeing, choice becomes possible. This unexpected event or message you're facing isn't just a personal interaction, it's the opening of a new karmic gate. The conversation may be with someone else, but the transformation is within you. And just like a seed cracks open in darkness before reaching toward the light, this moment is here to break through something old in you. It's here to wake you up, not to pain, but to potential. There is a quiet principle that says, when you resist less, life reveals more. The wheel doesn't ask for permission to turn, it turns because it's time. The sun doesn't wait for clouds to part, it shines through them. So the question becomes, are you willing to let go of the story that kept you small, in order to step into something that may not be fully certain, but is more aligned with who you are becoming? Ask yourself, gently, are you ready to forgive not just others, but the version of yourself who didn't know better at the time? Are you ready to release your grip on needing closure in a specific form, so that healing can find you in a way you never expected? Can you surrender your attachment to how it should have been, in order to embrace how it now can be? Moments like these are not always loud. Sometimes, the most important shifts happen in silence, a breath, a pause, a quiet, "I'm done," whispered to no one but yourself. These cards are here not to predict your fate, but to remind you of your power to co-create it. The wheel is moving. The light is rising. And your only task is to show up honestly to what you now see. If your heart is calling out for something to finally shift, to be resolved, to be set free, or simply to be seen, I invite you to take a moment and write it down. Declare it in the comments. Let it be your offering to the universe. A message of readiness. A vibration sent outward to echo back in form. When we name what we seek, we align our energy to receive it. So what are you ready to see turn in your life? What truth are you finally ready to stand in? The wheel has spoken. The sun has risen. Now it's your move. Everything in the universe is vibration. The colors we wear, the numbers we encounter, even the thoughts we silently repeat, they all carry frequencies that speak to our energy field. That's why seemingly simple choices, like choosing what color to surround yourself with or what number keeps appearing in your life, are far more than coincidences. They are invitations to align with a more conscious way of living. And right now, Leo, you are being guided toward frequencies that support your expansion, your healing, and your inner transformation. Golden yellow, a color long associated with clarity, prosperity, and renewal, is especially potent for you during this cycle. It is the shade of rebirth, like the first light of dawn breaking through after a long night. Wearing this color in the morning isn't just about aesthetics. It's a subtle way of signaling to your nervous system, I'm ready to be seen. I'm ready to rise. Gold also harmonizes with the sun's energy, your ruling celestial body, helping to amplify your natural charisma, confidence, and capacity to attract warmth into your life. The golden hue is not loud in the way red is, nor as introspective as blue. It balances the outward expression of your fire with a grounded inner brightness. It reminds you that radiance isn't about proving anything, it's about embodying your truth without resistance. Try placing something golden where you begin your day, a scarf, a candle, even a yellow citrus fruit like a lemon. Let it anchor your awareness to possibility and joy, and over time, you'll notice how your mood and decisions begin to shift as a result. Alongside color, numbers are also powerful carriers of energy, not just in math or logic, but in the way they echo patterns in nature and consciousness. The number 3 represents creative life force, the energy of growth, expression, and connection. It asks, how are you using your voice? Are you expressing what you truly feel, or only what you think others want to hear? This number encourages you to return to your essence, not to perform, but to be. The number 10 signals cycles completing and new ones beginning. It's a turning point. It asks you to reflect on what chapter you're closing and whether you're doing so with intention or resistance. Just as the seasons don't argue with the wind when it changes direction, the number 10 reminds you to allow what is ready to end. And then to trust that what follows is a reflection of your new vibration. Then there is 19, the number of illumination and insight. It holds the energy of the Sun card in the tarot, inviting you to see things clearly, including yourself. Not with harsh judgment, but with gentle honesty. This number calls forward your capacity to live in truth without clinging to old stories. When you see the number 19, whether on a receipt, a clock, or an unexpected address, take it as a nudge. Is there something I've been avoiding seeing that's now asking to be brought into the light? To consciously tune into these vibrations, begin with small rituals. Try setting a golden object on your workspace with the number 10 etched or written near it. Let it serve as a quiet intention, that you are open to what is shifting, and you trust the timing of its unfolding. You might also repeat affirmations that reinforce your alignment. Whisper them, write them down, or simply breathe them in with awareness. Say, I am worthy of love and renewal, or all good things arrive at the perfect divine time. These are not just pretty words, they are energetic agreements. They begin to recalibrate your field from the inside out. There is a quiet wisdom that says, when your mind is clear and your energy is steady, the world around you begins to match it. So take care in what you allow into your field. Choose the colors you wear as a reflection of how you want to feel. Let numbers guide your focus, not your fear. And most importantly, remember, what you consistently align with becomes your lived experience. You don't need to control every outcome. You only need to choose your frequency again and again with love, patience, and presence. Sometimes, life brings someone back into our orbit not so they can finish their sentence, but so you can finally choose silence. Sometimes, the conversation that arrives isn't meant to reopen what was broken but to remind you how far you've come. This unexpected message you may receive, Leo, is not the real turning point. You are. The message is simply a mirror. The power lies in the way you respond to it, or perhaps, in the quiet wisdom of not responding at all. What's unfolding now is not about them. It's about you. It's about the way your heart opens without begging. The way your boundaries hold, not out of fear, but out of love for your peace. This is your moment to choose your next chapter, not based on what others are offering, but on what you know you deserve. And that choice, that stillness before action, is where true transformation begins. Not in noise. Not in drama. But in conscious presence. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. You don't need permission to release what no longer aligns. You don't need the past to make sense for the future to begin. And no one, absolutely no one, is coming to save you because you've already been doing the saving yourself, every time you chose healing over repeating. The universe may open doors, but it's your hand on the handle. Will you walk through with clarity, or will you look back for a sign that's already been given? So here's your invitation, Leo, not just to reflect, but to take gentle action. If there's something, a word, a wound, a name that still holds tension inside you, try writing it down. Then let it go. Burn the paper. Bury it in the earth. Whisper forgiveness into the wind. Make it a ritual, not to erase the past, but to release your grip on it. There is something sacred about declaring, even in silence, this no longer defines me. You have walked through fire before. You have rebuilt without applause. And now, as this new energy cycle begins, the question is not what will come to you, but who will you become to meet it? Will you show up as the version of you that doubts your worth? Or will you step forward as the soul who remembers your light was never dimmed, only hidden, temporarily, beneath someone else's shadow? I invite you now to ask yourself, what are you finally ready to let go of, not with anger, but with acceptance? What truth are you brave enough to stand in, even if no one else validates it? What reality are you ready to choose from this moment on? Leave a comment below and let me know what part of your life you're ready to transform. Speak it out loud. Let your words be a spell for change. And if this message has resonated with your heart, even in the quietest way, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone you care about. This is Eternal Mindfulness, a space where you are always welcome, always seen, and always supported as you become more fully yourself. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, for feeling, and for showing up, not just to this message, but to your own healing. And remember, Leo, this destiny is not waiting for you to be perfect. It's waiting for you to be present. The future doesn't begin when someone finally tells you you're enough. It begins when you believe it and live like it. Now tell me, what are you choosing to release? And what are you finally ready to become?